Hey gang, I recently polled people on my Facebook group for the best guitar intros of all time. This was one that a lot of people mentioned. Steely Dan's Don't Take Me Alive, coming right up. Larry Carlton's Don't Take Me Alive intro is one of the guitar parts that really inspired me to become a better guitarist. It was so unique in its sound and its note choice, and yet its construction is totally simple and ordinary. How is that possible? We're going to find out by building it piece by piece. Now, for those of you who only want to see the demo, you can skip ahead to the end. It's out there where I do it pretty much alone, no backing track, so you can hear it totally clearly. And for those of you who want tab, backing tracks, chord diagrams, all sorts of things like that and more, you can get it on my member site, which I've linked down below. All right, let's get to it, starting with that crazy chord. Yes, that's a ridiculous chord, and it is difficult to finger. However, I think that is how Larry Carlton did it, by using his third finger to cover both the fifth and the fourth strings. Having said that, there's a lot easier way to play something that sounds almost exactly the same, and I want to show it to you now because unless you're a stickler for it, you're going to save a lot of time. You can wash your car or hand with your buddies or whatever, and you won't hurt your hand as much. So I want to show you that. Here's the easier way to do it. You just finger a regular G chord like this, and you play the 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. And at that point, you pivot and you move your pinky and cover the first 2 strings like that. To me, that sounds very similar, and it's easier to let those strings ring out. And because you're holding it down, it's important that your hand is comfortable so you don't hurt it. Increasingly important as you get older, like me. So if you got old hands, I would advise using that simplified version. So why do you have to leave it ringing out? Well, it's because you want to get the feedback that Larry Carlton got as well. Now, let's talk about that just a little bit. If you've got an amp that's turned up a lot and you're not worried about the loudness, you can turn to the speaker. By all means, get feedback in the usual way. However, if you have to play indoors and you don't want to disturb people in the house or the neighbors or anything like that, here's how I do it. I play that and hold it on, and then I kick on an extra overdrive on that at the right place, and then I take it out when I'm ready to go on the solo. So it sounds somewhat like this. And when I cut it, I stomp on my pedal, I take off that extra distortion, and I'm ready to go on the solo. Now let's talk about the intro solo itself. This is best understood by thinking of the structure as a C Dorian. Now before you click away, let's look at that. Here's the C minor pentatonic, which you probably all know and love. And now here's the C Dorian. You see, that's simple. There's just 2 extra notes. Now, because these 2 things are similar, it shouldn't surprise you that they can be used somewhat interchangeably. Somewhat. All right, let's get this really going now. Here is the first line. It's a cool one. Starting us out with a couple of double stops and a cool bend. That bend right there is definitely a unique bend where we're bending from the minor 3rd to the 4th. I use my 3rd finger. You can use your 1st if you feel it's nice and strong and can do it accurately. All right, here is line 2. Got to be very slow on this bend. Got that half step bend and ending on a chord tone there, the G on the B string. And here's line 3, one of my favorites. It's kind of a country lick, but it's got such a unique bend at the end, it gives it a totally different twist. See how that bend right there on the B string 8th? You're bending to that Dorian note. Here's the fourth line. This is one of my favorites because it is so simple and yet it sounds unique. It just goes to show you if you use some creativity with the tools you've already got, you can come up with some really cool stuff. Let's check it out. One more time slowly. All right, so already halfway done. Here is the second half of the solo. This is line 5. Line 5 is simple, but oh so cool. Just going to follow a C minor chord. And then we're doing a whole step bend on the B string 13th. Make sure to give it lots of vibrato. Line 6 is just a simple blues line, but it's a very cool one. Let's check it out. Line 7 is one of those characteristic Larry Carlton lines that you find in a bluesy sort of solo where he all of a sudden plays jazzy sorts of things over chords. This one is over this chord sequence. You'll see he plays it perfectly. What is this? Well, this is kind of like an A flat major 7 arpeggio. I say kind of like that because we end up on the 6th of A flat. But we just take that and then we move it up to B flat, and that's playing over those A flat and B flat chords. Line 8 is probably the most technically challenging line. It basically is an ascending line in C minor pentatonic and involves some position switching. Ending up here on the 1st string, or on the E string, at the 18th fret. Here's line 9, where we basically take it from the top and bring it back down to earth. Now in that last line, I use the open G string, but you could easily just play this. And that's all C minor pentatonic, again with some crazy string skipping, but it sounds great. All right, let's put the whole thing together now. Yeah, Don't Take Me Alive intro by Larry Carlton. If you like this one, I think you'll like this one as well. So check that out. We'll see you in the next video, and we'll see you on down the road.